Hello, welcome to another session of Learn with Veer Sagar. Today I'm going to take up my first case of actually turning a department around. When I was in Dunlops, I was called and told that I have to take over the cycle division and I have 1 year in which to make it profitable. Otherwise, the division was going to be closed down. So here I was, who know nothing about cycles, right? If I told this to the MD, I said, "Sir, but I know nothing about cycles." He said, "Go find out." So I know nothing about cycles. Plus, I had no control over anything. Nobody reported to me. I had no authority over anything. The production, the sales, the purchase, everything was independent. And I had to use my charm to get them to agree or do what I want them to do. Not knowing where to start, I started with numbers and found out what should be the market demand for tires based on the number of bicycles and the bicycles on the road. And then I found that we needed to sell less than 20% to be able to use up our capacity, which didn't seem to me as a major challenge. And when I said this to the management committee, when I presented these numbers to them, they told me, in that case, why don't you show us? Now, having got trapped, I had to go into the field to make it happen. I got with me one management trainee, a very smart boy, and both of us went. We met the sales team in the region, we met the sales team in the area, we met the big dealers in the region. And the thing we found out from these interaction was that our price was very high, our quality was not good, and our designs were obsolete, which basically meant scrap whatever you have and make new tires with better quality and cheaper price. We might as well close the division down. Right? Now, this got me thinking, because these were non-feasible solutions. If I went for lower pricing, then the profitability will get even more affected. A new design, right, was not an easy thing and it take a long time, and definitely not possible within the time frame that I had. Quality was the only thing that we could work on, but that I'm not sure going to make a difference. At this point, it struck me, okay, who is the actual user? Who is the person who is buying the tire, who is using the tire, and who is selling this tire to that user? The people I met were wholesalers. The tire division, cycle tires was such a insignificant revenue item. They just offloaded to the nearest tire dealer who would pay the full amount and take it. And the tire dealer also made no money, not interested in making money, so small that he offloaded it at whatever price any dealer would buy it from him, which had messed up the entire ecosystem of Dunlop tire marketing. I went to a couple of small dealers, the roadside shops which have cycle tires hanging by the hook on the wall, right? And they sit down in short pants and repair and sell tires. I sat there the whole day, and I found that by the end, right, people did come to ask for Dunlop tire. The owner showed them Dunlop tires, but sold them different tires. At the end of the day, in the evening, I asked this man, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Sir, I don't know when I will get my next lot of Dunlop tires. If I sell this out now and somebody comes and says, I will only buy Dunlop," and there are some who do that, "then I would lose a customer. So I keep it for that. And I try and sell them whatever I can." Is there any problem in the quality? He said, "No." Is there any problem in the pricing? He said, "No." Then I went and I said, "Okay, who do you sell it to? Who are your buyers?" So he said, "These rickshawalas and these milkmen." Right? And I said, "Where can I find them?" So he showed me, you go to this market, you will find milkmen. Go to this area and you will find rickshawalas. We went there. We met them and they all were surprised that Dunlop company is still selling, is alive. They all said, we thought the company has closed down because we don't get these tires anywhere. And I asked them, if I guarantee you tires and a regular supply, will you buy? He said, yes. Would you want a price reduction? He said, no, we are quite happy with the current price. And please, for God's sake, don't change the thing. We like the old man stamp. So I came back to these small dealers and I said, how do we fix this? And I realized that their major issue was reliability. For them, Dunlop was a flood of famine. Either they got a huge lot of tires, 3 months supply at one go, they wouldn't know how to do it, how to take it, or they got no tires for months. So they didn't know how to handle the customer. So I said to them, supposing I commit to you that every week you will get whatever number you order on the week, on a given day, will you buy? He said, yes. He said, will you buy this? He said, yes, without doubt. So I said, okay. Me and my trainee, we hired a rickshaw and we said, let's go around meeting the dealers in this locality where a rickshaw can do it in one day, talk to these small dealers and pick orders. So we picked orders and said we will deliver on this date. And we got orders, then we delivered, and then we got order for the next round. Having found this, we then said, okay, let's expand the orbit. And we added a longer thing for the rickshaw. So the rickshaw now goes 5 days a week in different routes. And we found that all those days we could get orders and people were buying. Having found this, that yes, all you needed is a regular guarantee of supplies and distribution. As they say, reliability. We now needed to institutionalize this because we could not do this as a company. The tire dealers would sell every company's tire. So if we help them do this, then maybe they will take in the same rickshaw and sell competitive tires also. So I needed to get one exclusive Dunlop tire. For that, we had to create a brand, an image. So we created a Dunlop brand. We said, okay, if you are an exclusive Dunlop dealer, we will do up your shop, we will do all these good things, right? And make him stand out. And in return, you have to run this rickshaw, weekly, daily rickshaw routes. He was very happy to do that because not only was he getting a lot of image and respect because of being a Dunlop dealer and with a beautiful looking shop, he was actually making money on the retail sales. Because once this started happening, people were buying. And this model, then we replicated all over India. In order to then give it a bigger push, we started having Dunlop cycle tire races. We had rickshaw races. We started having all kinds of image building. Now, we could not afford to put ads out, hoardings. In those days, the hoardings were made more to impress the MD than the customer. So we actually started getting walls painted, going on to countryside where the tires are bought and got Dunlop hoardings painted on the walls, which were almost free. They only cost the cost of painting because I know who the walls belong to. So once we did that, we created image, we created a standing, and the thing I learned when this started taking off, that within 8 to 10 months, the division started making money. The thing I learned here, the most important thing for a customer is trust and reliability. He can manage bad quality, he can manage high pricing, he cannot build in lack of trust and lack of reliability. If he doesn't know what is going to happen, he cannot operate. So the first thing you need to have is to create trust and reliability. He must trust you and you must be reliable. Second thing he found, that the dealer, the customer, wants you to be his friend. He looks to you as somebody who he can rely on and trust to make him make money, to make fulfill his needs. If you go there as somebody who wants to meet my targets, then he's not going to be helpful. He's not going to believe you. He's not going to trust you. So create a trust within that man. And then enjoy your job. Happiness is infectious. Leader sees you enjoying, then believing in your product. He says, this man believes in his product, so the product must be good. But if you go as if it's a chore on you, there's something that's been given to you that you need to do 9 to 5, then he knows this product is dicey. So believe in yourself, believe in your product, believe in the customer, be reliable, and enjoy your job. And that is what I learned from my first turnaround. In the next session, I will talk about another turnaround of a totally different type. Till then, it's Veer Sagar saying goodbye.